talking about states of matter and phase changes. So a lot of this will be review information, but it is important that you have this down in your notes so that when we continue to talk about these things, you can refer back to your notes and make sure you have solid definitions for what we use in this chemistry class. So label your notes states of matter and phase changes along with today's date. What are the three states of matter? You probably know this. We have solid, liquid, and gas. Pause the video and draw these particle pictures as well. Notice that the solids, the atoms are really close together. The liquids, they're a little farther apart, and then the gas, they're even farther apart. Phase changes. Substances go through a phase change when they're either heated or cooled. Molecules of a substance are held together in either the solid, liquid, or gaseous state by the intermolecular forces, which we talked about last class. So write in your notes, what are the different types of IMFs? It is necessary to discuss phase changes to talk about things such as ice cubes melting or how water is boiled. So make sure you have these notes written down. What are the phase change states? For example, what is it called to go from a solid to a liquid? Write these down, as many as you can think of. So, again, here's the solid, liquid, and gases. Notice that solids are rigid. They take on a fixed shape and a fixed volume. They can't be squashed. So if we think about H2O throughout all of these, if we had an ice cube, we can't just squash it easily, at least, because they're rigid, they have fixed shape, fixed volume. So write this down in your notes next to solid. Then liquid, they are not rigid, no fixed shape, but there is a fixed volume. So if you look at like a liquid in here, I can feel that it has fixed volume. It's not changing, but it's not rigid. It can slosh around my cup and not necessarily a fixed shape either. If I bend my cup, obviously the liquid's going this way now. And then a gas, of course, not rigid, no fixed shape, no fixed volume. It's all around us. We can squash it, we can slap it, whatever. So make sure you have those ideas written down as well. So would this be a solid, liquid, or gas? And you can just number these 1 through 5. Would this brick, solid, liquid, or gas? Mio energy. The steam coming out, or this water. So very straightforward. You guys know these things, but we'll talk about the next class as well. So our types of phase changes, make sure you write these down. Melting is going from a solid to a liquid, makes sense. Freezing, liquid to a solid. Vaporization, so these are ones that we don't talk about quite as much, but that is a liquid to a gas, so the liquid is vaporizing. Condensation is when we go from a gas to a liquid, so that's why like on a hot day your water might have condensation around it, and we're going from a gas around us to a liquid on the side of your water bottle. Then deposition is gas to a solid, and we'll talk about some examples next class. And then sublimation is solid to a gas, so dry ice is a great example of sublimation. So pause the video and do a little check for understanding. Draw this in your notes. Your teacher will be looking for this in your notes, and label each of these letters. So these letters will be stuff like gas, solid, liquid, sublimation, all of those different phase changes. And then if you could draw an arrow, what would it be to go from A to C? And what would it also be to go from C to A? So really you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 arrows labeled, because again, you're also doing A to C and C to A. And that is it for your notes today. So make sure to submit a clear picture for your teacher onto Google Classroom, and we'll talk about these more next class.